Narcissism from a family perspective, a family system, and what I grew up in and my experiences is that it's demonic. There is no other way to come across, there is no other way other than to say this is what it is, because these individuals that participate in such evil, there is no way that this information, that where is this information coming from? Surely not them. You know, surely they just didn't wake up with this knowledge. It's a power that's behind these people. When these individuals have been conditioned and or made a decision while they were being conditioned to move away from the light of God, opposed to succumbing to their grooming, so they gave up and became evil. They may subconsciously or consciously decided, and or by them creating a coping mechanism to deal with the brokenness that they themselves were brought up in, to deal with the day-to-day. Subconsciously or consciously, they made a decision to participate in this evil. So therefore, that's acknowledging the spiritual realm, the paranormal, that they are a fit vessel for demonic activity to work through. And that's what I believe how narcissism is spread. The paranormal needs a physical body to inhabit. And I believe this is how, as ignorant and as dumb as the vessel is, the intelligence to be able to mentally, emotionally, and spiritually control another human being through emotions. Gaslighting. We ain't even touched physical abuse. Creating these streams in an individual mind, or strings, if you will, from early childhood experiences. This is diabolical. The parent don't know this level of mental understanding to purposely inflict, if you will. The narcissist, the individual, the intelligence is coming from somewhere else. They're just a vehicle. Their minds, their bodies has been yielded over because they participate in that shit. You understand? And I believe that's how it originates. Because I'm speaking from my own experiences and the family dynamics and the family system in which I came up under. My parents ain't all that bright. Not to my, what I mean bright in the sense of, yes, they have the basic rudimentary functions of holding down a 9 to 5. They didn't drink, smoke, get high, or none of that shit. We were from Jamaica. That's another story. But from a mental understanding, they made pretty good living in their work. But on a social level, They didn't have friends. The only person my mother spoke to that I saw as a friend was the neighbor and a friend from Jamaica that came up and that lived with us for a few years, and then she branched off and got her own place or whatever. But it was mainly my mother and father was very close knit. They were very antisocial, meaning outside of family, they didn't have any extended friendships that I saw on a regular. There was not even on a regular. I can't even think of a friend of my stepfather because that's who raised me. Other than folks that he worked with, and this was years. I'm talking about a friend, another male that he befriended somewhere. It was none of that. I saw none of that. That's what I mean, antisocial. And if he had something to say about somebody, it was always something negative. It was always what somebody else thinks of him, but yet he has yet to have a dialogue. He would see somebody across the street, as an example, a neighbor across the street that he had never talked to, don't know, and he was always socially awkward. As a child growing up, I'm looking back now, and even in my adulthood, I could see that. My mother was the same way. When she spoke about people at the job, it was always somebody's out to get us, some antagonistic shit. I get that. It's because she didn't know how to really interact. And I don't hold that against her. But I digress for a second, because, I was letting my mind in a way kind of lead me. But looping back to the spiritual side. In this video, I want to more or less speak of narcissism from a spiritual standpoint, to drive home the message that this situation here is nothing to be played with. If it's a family member, like I said, I'm speaking from a family standpoint, get out. Get the fuck on with your life. Don't waste not one goddamn minute more on these people. Those bitches will put you in the fucking grave. I'm talking from first-hand goddamn experience. All the shit that I have went through, I'm now 50. The Creator, God, if you will, Yeshua, yes, him, woke me up. And he's been tapping on my shoulder for years. I knew for years that something was not right. At the age of 26, 27, when I moved out of my parents' house, I vowed not to fucking go back. And I didn't for a few years. But when I was in Florida, when I moved to Florida, they've been down there for about 6 years. 7 years. 2018, December, Christmas. I was there for quite an extended period of time. And I did not... The level of fuckery that these two old rusty motherfuckers were engaging totally blew me the fuck out the goddamn water. I didn't know the level of depravity, the level of pettiness. I don't know. I can't find another word for something less than petty. You have two grown, rusty motherfuckers. Stepfather about 70, 71 now. She about 67, 68. They gaslight my ass like to no end when I was there. And I didn't even know it at the age of 48. I was so conditioned to take the abuse. An example would be my mother, I don't really like even referring to her as my mother. She's just an individual that gave birth. I stopped short of saying a bitch like a dog give birth. At least a dog protects the fucking puppies. Nurture and take care of them. Back to the video. She slid me a note one morning, and the note says, she asked my stepfather, more or less they had a conversation and she wrote down what she spoke to him about. So she slid me the note after the fact. The discussion they had was, are you, the woman that gave birth to me said to her husband, are you in competition with me for attention? Listen to this, folks. You have a 69, 70-year-old man with Parkinson's disease. And I'm going to come back to that. I just to allude to that. I'm going to come back to that. And you have a 67, 68-year-old woman, his wife. His wife asks him, are you in secret competition with me for attention? The motherfucker turns around and says, no, my dear. You're in competition with me for attention. So, I read the note. But before then, a situation, my stepfather and I came back from the store, from a bullshit mission. It's all about supply. It's all about source. They were just using me up, do things, and run them to the store, don't want shit. Drive 30 minutes to the store, or I forgot my wallet, I'm paying for shit. Instead of going back to get their fucking wallet. Shit like that. We go to the store, didn't get the battery for the watch, come back. We back in the house now. This motherfucker always seems to want to pump fake like he's falling or stumbling because he has Parkinson's. The woman that gave birth to me had knee replacement surgery. About 4 days out of the hospital. We're at the house now. Same day now, she slides me the note. We're going to come back to the note. She slides me the note after we came back from the store or whatever. He comes in, he strolls in the house. I already knew he was up to something, plotting something. He pumps fake like he's about to fall or stumble. And I knew it was a fraud. I'm at a dinner table eating some soup. He pumps fake now like he about to fall and stumble, and she screams, oh my God, over the walker and tries to grab her. I yell at her, what the fuck is you doing? You can't even hold yourself for me to tell me to grab him. But I already knew he was faking. I could see it in his face. Mighty funny he was able to grab the counter. That's the fastest I ever seen him move. So I had enough of his fucking games, and I hopped up and I said to him, you know what? You're a fucking piece of shit. That's what the fuck you are. You're a piece of shit. Pause right there. She slid me the note before he came into the house. That the conversation that they had earlier that morning. So when he did what he did, pump fake like he was about to stumble and fall to garner attention and all of this silly dumb shit. When I leaned on his dumb ass, she thinking I'm leaning on him because of the letter. That's what she used to gaslight me. But it wasn't that. It was the fact of the matter. I knew he was faking and I had enough of his shit. I was there for 3 months. And I observed the level of fuckery this dude was doing. Was the only thing I can do was document. Mentally. I didn't know how depraved a narc can be. And that motherfucker was a piece of shit. I mean, for real. When I called him a piece of shit, this bitch jumped in my fucking face so fast. Pause again. You see, how I know this shit is demonic is because I've been dealing with the same fucking entity, the same spirit in other people for years, primarily females, black females. It chooses to raise its head in other ethnicities differently. But with black females, such as the female that gave birth to me, her, when I saw that look, and she was directly in my face, mama, the woman that gave birth to me, I'm about to say my mother, has never, ever was confrontational. The last time that bitch was confrontational to me, I was 14. I'm fucking 48 now. At the time. When she leaned in my face, you need to learn some damn respect, and pull back from me, that mask slipped. That mask been slipping since I was 42. Earlier on, it was been slipping. But more and more over the years, I immediately emotionally shut down because I said, shit, I got this bitch too. So now I got 2 wars to fight in 2 fronts. I got 2 of these motherfuckers to deal with now. Her to you too, bitch. I said to myself. So I sat down. The motherfucker that got Parkinson's, his ass walked past like Michael Jackson like Michael Jackson walking backwards. He walked across the floor like he did, like perfect. Like he never had no Parkinson's at all. He put on his sunglasses. This is the theatrics. This is the histrionics I was singing. Playing out. At the time, I didn't know that's what the shit was. It was like fucking theater. He puts on sunglasses, walks behind her, come back to the dinner table, bends over with his hand behind his back. There was a straw in a glass of water or iced tea, whatever the fuck that was on the table. He leans over, started drinking and looking at me from over the rim of the glasses, smiling. I was so listen to me, yo. I felt the energy, the very life force being sucked out of me. I was so goddamn angry. I wanted to fuck him up. I wanted to flip that goddamn table. This dumb bitch sitting to my right gonna say, mumble under her breath, why is he looking at him like that? Listen to me, yo. Homicidal thoughts flooded my mind. I wanted revenge I wanted to fuck him up so bad. and her up. And that's the God's honest fucking truth. Listen to me. Listen to me. I got up and went to the bedroom and closed the door. This was about 5 o'clock that night. I did not come out that fucking room to the next goddamn morning. When she knocked on that door, I get, what the fuck do you want? You understand? What the fuck you want? I heard her walking away. I cracked the door open and looked down the hallway. This bitch had on a nightgown. Mind you, this is 4 days. 4 fucking days out of the hospital from her second knee replacement surgery. From the back, she's walking down the hallway with her nightgown on, with a fucking fedora hat, walking like a man. She walked as if she didn't have no surgery, as if her legs was fucking perfect. That wasn't a female walking. She walked without the walker. I'm going to say it again, yo. Her second knee replacement. Who gets up and fucking walk flawlessly like you're about to fucking tee off and shit 4 days out of surgery? Other than some goddamn demon in your ass giving you the willpower to do that. And when she walked like a dude into the fucking kitchen. I got up and packed my shit up and got the fuck out of that house. That night, from the whole kitchen incident, I was in so much pain. I was in so much turmoil. I couldn't sleep none that night. But I knew something was trying to take a hold of me. I felt something creeping up my legs. It was cold. It felt dark. And if I'd have stayed another 24 hours in that goddamn house, I wouldn't have been the same person. Something was trying to get inside of me. And that's how I go back again to say this is something demonic. It was as if something was trying to change me. Something was trying to enter. And I fought like no other. It happened not just that same night. 3 days later when I left, I was 143 miles from my house in Virginia, coming from Florida. When I packed my shit up, before then, I packed my shit up and I went to my uncle's house. And I had to stay for 3 more days, from Wednesday to that Thursday. It happened to Tuesday. It was Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I was leaving that Friday. I had to wait for some shit to come UPS. Because the shit was being delivered to her house. So I was intercepting it before it got to their place. My parents' place. But when I was 143 miles from home, I pulled over about 9:30 that night, and I prayed like I've never prayed before. That thing followed me, and I could feel it. And that feeling is as if my identity was being erased. As if I didn't know. Something was trying to take over me to erase me, to take my identity away of who I am. I would not have been the same person. Get the fuck out, y'all. If you ever contemplating leaving your family of origin because of narcissistic abuse, or any relationship for that matter, because it's all intertwined, this shit is not good. Like I said, I prayed like no other. I went to sleep in that van and woke up the next morning and continued my journey home. And I've never looked back since.